SummerSlam 2003. It was August the 24th, and this, in real life, was the second ever Elimination Chamber. However, it was not for the Intercontinental Championship like my match is. But my match for the Intercontinental Championship in the Elimination Chamber, which is William Regal versus Booker T versus Jamie Noble versus Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero versus Bill Goldberg.
All-Star Clash, if I ever heard it.
Although it isn't, because as the wrestlers are making their entrance, one of the said participants, that being Bill Goldberg, so we're going to have Rey and Eddie enter together and first.
Unified. Got it.
Because, exactly, unified. They're friends, they're partners, they're teammates. They come out together, they both get in a pod. But next up is William Regal, then Booker T. They...
Also getting a pod.
Yes, exactly. And so last up is Jamie Noble, and he is in the ring ready for Bill Goldberg to get in there and murder him.
Perfect.
But instead, what happens is, as Jamie is standing, ready and waiting for Bill to get in the ring, he gets assaulted by, let's just figure it out, Doug Basham, Danny Holiday, Orlando Jordan, Billy Kidman, Maven, and JBL. So 6 men jump
One guy.
And,
That ass.
and Bill does his best to fight them off, but during the chaos, John Bradshaw Layfield slips out of the pack, slides into the ring, and tells the referees, close the door, lock it, padlock it.
Ring the bell.
And so the 5 other LLC members fight Bill to the back, and the referee does lock the door. And they're like, all right, I guess this is the way to be, you know?
Hey.
And so the match starts with JBL, so it's no longer an old WCW affair.
Yep, really threw it off. Dang it, John.
It's okay. So it starts out with Jamie Noble taking on John Bradshaw Layfield inside the Elimination Chamber. And John is, as you may recall, friggin' humongous.
Oh, yeah, I do recall this.
Yeah, he's a very big fella.
And it is probably one of his main characteristics.
And Jamie is, as you may have recalled, not very big himself.
A little bit more minuscule.
So, Jamie, who is an amazing wrestler.
Absolutely.
Former, although at this point not yet, but in our timeline, real world, former Ring of Honor World Champion.
Yes, sir.
And an outstanding wrestler. And so he does his best to combat...
this large individual.
Correct. And does his best to take the brunt of John's assault, and he even is able to kick out of one of Bradshaw's big power bombs that he would do, the ones where he would pretend to put out a cigar on your back.
Yep.
He kicks out...
Those are devastating. It's probably one of my favorite JBL moves.
Oh, big time. And so Jamie kicks out of that, and as the pinfall is occurring, the countdown happens at the same time, so when it goes 3, 2, and 1, the pod opens, but Jamie kicks out of the third.
Yeah, the pinfall.
There is no 3 count, because and so that's when Booker T enters the match, and that way that it's not that Booker's saving Jamie, because he don't give a crap about Jamie, but he's fresh and ready to go after the guy who has been in the match, going at it.
Not in the match. It wasn't supposed to be in the match.
Correct. And so Booker goes hard at it. He
gets high leg kicks.
Absolutely. And him and Bradshaw have, both in the real timeline future, have had multiple matches for the top title.
Of course.
And so at this point, Jamie is pseudo able to catch his breath, get more with it.
So he gets some oxygen in.
And so he helps out Booker, not in a team way.
It's still every man for himself, but strange bedfellows.
Exactly.
You know
and John is the worst of the worst in this current affair. And so as the 2 good guys are going at John, we get the counter down again. In comes King William, and so now we're kind of evened up. Not quite a tag team, but sort of. 2 bad guys, 2 good guys.
Yeah, you know the score.
And so, when or while this is happening, William Regal pulls out his trusty Nux, hits a
Power of the punch.
Power of the punch on Jamie Noble. And as he is working toward going for the pin, Booker kicks him in the head. And he goes to think about pinning him, but that's when Bradshaw hits Booker with a clothesline from hell. 1, 2, 3, Booker T is the first out.
Wow.
And as we are working, or as John goes to eliminate Jamie, Rey Mysterio gets let out of his pod, and he goes straight for Bradshaw, the man that doesn't belong.
Of course.
And so Jamie's still in there alive for now. So again, it's 2 good guys, 2 bad guys.
Of course.
And William Regal, while Ray and Bradshaw are fighting, he is able to eliminate Jamie Noble, who he had, cheated against.
Yeah, punched in the face with a foreign object.
Exactly. And then Eddie Guerrero's pod opens. It's now Ray and Eddie versus William Regal and Bradshaw at this point. So Regal gets eliminated next, and so it's Bradshaw versus Ray and Eddie.
How Regal get eliminated? Just
let's say it's a 619. Yeah, that'll work.
Cool.
And my point is, it comes down to Bradshaw and Eddie. Ray gets eliminated by Bradshaw at some point. I'm going to say it doesn't matter.
I'm about to say, pick a scenario from Ray versus JBL.
Oh, yeah, that certainly happened, yes.
That's probably what happened.
And
so we got Eddie versus JBL, which also a lot of history.
Exactly, tons of history. But the important thing is, Bradshaw did not earn his... He wasn't supposed to be here.
Nope.
And so with that, Eddie does retain the Intercontinental Championship. I don't know how. It doesn't matter. But there's no way that the LLC is going to help him.
We're going to say he goes for a clothesline, hell rolls him up.
Yeah, hey, that's totally fine. And so it's a way to cement the fact that Eddie didn't cheat. He didn't have to. He's a good guy, and so he didn't do anything.
Also, the Elimination Chamber is no DQ.
Exactly. So it was just a way to protect Bill from taking a loss.
Yep, that was smart. I figured that was the plan there.
And to keep Eddie strong.
Beautiful. Hell of a way to open the hottest party of the summer, biggest party of the summer? Whatever the stupid tagline
I'm
is.
sure they've used both those at different points.
I'm 100% confident. But that's how SmackDown opened the show. Let's talk about how Raw is going to open the show. With Evolution versus Rob Van Dam and those damn Dudley boys. So, this match, obviously there's nothing but heat between these two teams. They absolutely despise each other. So, obviously Rob and the Dudleys came out first. Evolution, pomp and circumstance to the nines. Everyone's dressed in Flair-style robes.
I like that.
Really, really paying tribute to Nate. They got Get Well Soon Dave on the back of the
that's cool.
Back on the road to shout out their fallen brother who will be back hopefully soon. I haven't checked.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like not too terribly long.
Yeah, but them torn pecs or biceps or whatever he tore, always a pain in the butt. But yeah, so as they're walking down, Rob's like, "Yeah, I don't have time for all this," and then literally just dives over the rope and very modern day style, obviously, but dive over the rope. That's pretty new for 2003.
I was gonna say, but Rob Van Dam is the man to do it though, because I feel like he was the innovator of so much of the things that we take for granted in the modern age.
Absolutely. So, Elimination Chamber, a lot of that took place in the chamber, in the ring. So we had to, freshen it up by getting them to brawl all around the arena.
Which is good because the next match is going to be technical classic.
Yeah. Dead center in the middle of the ring. But you know how it is. So, the Dudleys are whooping Flair and Randy's ass, obviously. Van Dam and Triple H are going back and forth. Eventually, we get some semblance of order, and we get two guys in the ring. Orton's in the ring with, let's go Devon, because why not? I haven't said Devon's name in a while. But basically, this match, once we finally finish and get a little settled of the brawling elements down, we finally get an actual in-ring match. 3-on-3 classic. Tag in and tag out. They isolate Devon in the corner. Because even though not the tag specialist, Flair, multi-time tag champion. Randy, former tag champion. Actually, no, he was not. Former Evolve champion. No, he was.
Yeah, I was going to say both.
I was about to say, he did two things.
Yes.
And then Triple H, I'm pretty sure he was a tag champion in WWF at some point.
In real timeline, yes. In our timeline, no.
Dang, okay.
So, real timeline, he was tag champion with Stone Cold.
Right, so we never did that.
Yeah, in our world, that didn't happen.
Dang, so Triple H's never been a tag champion. Good to keep in mind for the future. But regardless, good tag team work. Eventually, though, you know how tag wrestling goes. Devon eventually breaks through, tags into his brother, half brother, as the lure goes. Bubba goes crazy, does the dusty punches, you know, and crazy back and forth. Finally, match breaks down though. We got to get to a finish somehow. Triple H dodges a 5-star frog splash attempt as everyone in the big finisher spots that everyone does. Triple H hits the pedigree. Bubba hits the Bubba cutter. Devon hits the saving grace, which is that lifting reverse DDT.
Mm-hmm.
Randy hits an RKO. Bubba hits a Bubba cutter. And then Flair, obviously the ref's distracted by all this chaos, kicks Bubba in the dick, picks the leg, straps on the figure 4, and gets the submission victory for Evolution.
That's amazing. So, who of your winning trio has ties to my show?
You mean like...
Literal...
Oh, you're talking about... Okay. Got it. Triple H.
So, Triple H's wife, Stephanie McMahon, is in the back with tons and tons and tons of security. And she is fuming mad.
Yeah, that sounds like Stephanie.
She's so mad that Bill Goldberg was kept out of the opening match.
Mm.
And she's so mad, in fact, you may have remembered I only booked the Cruiserweight title match, the Elimination Chamber match, and Test versus Lance Storm.
Yes, sir.
So, Stephanie says to the LLC, who are being saved by security because they're holding Goldberg back,
Yep.
she says, Holiday, Basham, Jordan, I'm so mad at you. You're making me shake with anger.
He's got the shakies.
You are gonna take on the MPAA here tonight.
Oh, that's true.
You're gonna go against Rodney Mack, Ron Simmons, and Mark Henry. Up next, Billy, get out there. Your
match is now
with Matt Capitelli and his Cruiserweight Championship, because she knows he's
about to say,
stole it.
She watched him steal the belt. Yeah.
And so Billy is happy with himself, impressed, wearing the title. I actually like the idea where John wears it backwards, and so I'm going to have Kidman wear the title out backwards.
Okay.
Because I think that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
And so Matt Capitelli versus Billy Kidman for Matt Capitelli's Cruiserweight title. It is one-on-one. It is fast-paced. It's hard-hitting action. It is just
Just
great.
what you come to respect.
Cruiserweights doing great cruiserweight action.
Exactly.
And it's the first time of the night where, while yes, Billy's bad, he's also so egotistical with his
Badness.
that he doesn't need to cheat.
Mm.
And so
He's like, I'm so good, I don't need to do this.
well, exactly. It's who's a good example of that? Gunther. Gunther's a good example.
Yeah.
So he's a bad guy, but he doesn't have to do bad guy things because
doesn't have to cower out of the ring. He literally just like, I'm good enough to just beat you, and then he does this real crazy thing where he does that.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's what happens with Billy Kidman. He's so great at wrestling that he out-wrestles Matt Capitelli.
Wow.
And so the Romero special, when Matt Capitelli tries to put it on him, Billy doesn't allow both his arms to be captured. He elbows the midsection. He works his way out. He frees his legs. Long story short, Billy Kidman, great wrestler, does great wrestler things, wins the Cruiserweight title, brings the gold legitimately to the LLC, and Stephanie kind of looks like a fool because of it. Because her goal was to make them pay for them messing with the match. But no, they actually win instead.
The irony. The absolute irony. Man, crazy match. So, I mean, you got to follow a technical classic with a technical wizard in and of his own right. That's right. I'm talking about our Olympic hero, your Olympic hero,
Yeah.
my Olympic hero, Kurt Angle, coming out to defend the United States Championship in a U.S. Open Challenge. Obviously, Team Angle rolling out with your boy, of course. So the question's been on everybody's lips for weeks now. Kurt's tossed out this challenge, basically called the entire roster a bunch of scrubs. Wants to know who's gonna stand up and out wrestle the wrestling machine. And then silence. Oh yeah! Matt Hardy and the Iron Addicts. That's right. Hard Body Hardy coming out.
Hunky Hardy.
Shoot.
Handsome Hardy.
Comes out Hogan style, rips the shirt, is flexing all over the place. The girls in the crowd are going wild for this man.
I love Matt Hardy.
Absolutely.
He's so good at being cheesy.
He's such a dork. Such a dork. Love him so much. Kurt obviously looks at the rest of Team Angle like, seriously? Really? I guess I did say anyone, but seriously? But listen, I know we tend to forget this because Matt's so goofy, but he is really good at his job.
That's true.
And despite Kurt not taking him too seriously, Matt gets him on a couple of holds. He trips him up. He gets the ankle pick. Now, of course, it's Matt, so as soon as he does that, he goes, ah! Hits some jumping jacks. Hits the V1 pose.
I love it.
For the nostalgia.
So, something I really stands out to me about this match is the TNA factor. Because...
yeah, there's a lot of TNA in this match.
While Kurt was a top guy in WWE, when I think of these guys being at their pinnacle, I think of TNA wrestling because
I also do, yeah.
Yeah, the entire creation of Matt's
Broken Universe.
Kurt had a longer run in TNA than he did in WWE,
which I still can't believe, but you do check the map and it is right.
Yeah, and like he was, since the day that he got there, Kurt treated like he was special. Because he is,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's not by. That's
I'm about to say
mistake.
that wasn't a Gable Stevenson situation. That was in Kurt actually just was as special as you think he was.
Ugh, that bothers me. I wish they would have kept his brother.
Yeah.
Because even though the Olympic wrestler may not have worked out, the amateur wrestler was doing just fine. I thought.
Great.
Yeah.
Doing absolutely amazing.
I actually like that his entrance is still in the game because I gave it to myself.
Yeah, he does have a good interest, to be fair. But yeah, no, it was just it was one of those ships in the night thing. But Kurt, to be honest, there was never going to be another Kurt Angle, and that's pretty much what they tried to do.
Absolutely, you can't do it. Yeah,
can't
replicate. I think the closest we'll ever, well, as of now, the closest I think we'll ever get is Chad Gable.
Yes.
As far as,
but unfortunately WWE doesn't see it that way because
humor, talent. I know. Yeah. I know, but
and that's really all it is. I'm really trying to think of any other negative to justify it.
There isn't any. Yeah, he's jacked as all get out. Like, he's in great cardiovascular condition.
He can talk.
Exactly.
He can wrestle.
Yeah, but he's great at serious and humor.
Yep, he's got the charisma.
That's what
crowd love him. Crowd hate him.
That's what makes me think of him as Kurt Angle equivalent, is that he's good at both serious and humor.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent.
Yes.
Point is, Kurt and Hard Body Hardy have a good wrestling match. Matt flexes his technical muscles, and then once that stops working, he tries to go back to his Team Extreme
roots. Yeah.
Yep, and that didn't work either. And then he's quickly starting to realize he's out of his depth, but that's okay because he's got friends.
Yes.
So the rest of the Iron Addicts are coming up, except for Vascular Valley's a little distracted by Stacy.
Falling into old habits.
Yep, the instincts are there. What can I say? So Shelton and Haas take care of
Jindrak and Johnny Stamboli.
Thank you. I knew somebody would help me get there. So while they drop those two, hit them with Germans, and then walk back, Stacy smacks Val in the face and then hits one of her spinning leg kick things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that she used to do back in the day. drops Val. I'm assuming you're fine with that.
I don't care. I think that's hilarious.
All right, excellent.
Yeah, no,
excellent.
I think Val is the type of character that because he's so distractible, like I said, falling into old habits, that I think they would work.
Perfect. But Stacy's showing her wrestling chops. I'm like, oh, we haven't seen you throw a kick in a year.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, ladies' night was the last night she had a match.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Because you had to use it.
Been a hot minute. I was out of bodies. Yeah.
You're like, well, you're having a match because you have to.
Yep. Pretty much. Good times. But obviously Matt sees all of his friends get dropped, and is in stunned silence. Turns around to Kurt, fears for his life. Turns back around, tries to run out of the ring. Kurt grabs him, hits him with an angle slam. 1, 2, 3. Kurt retains the United States Championship.
That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. And while we're on the topic of wrestlers who are both great at wrestling and also spectacular at tapping folks out,
Indeed.
it is time for the end of the Regal Counter Threat narrative, storyline. All of it, whatever you want to call it. The journey. Yeah. Because
not about the destination, it's about the journey.
Test is taking on Lance Storm.
And the ultimate blow-off match.
Yes. Well, it's both a blow-off and it's also, by the end, you'll see it's a
new beginning.
A new beginning. And every ending is a new beginning. And something like that.
So what goes down?
So Test comes out first. And Lance Storm makes his way out, and it is originally, or primarily, a thank you for being here at Mr. Super Oz. This video is going out, and this channel only exists because I, Oz, founded Gamble Comics, which first release was Everlasting Survivors, a 68-page graphic novel called All Day Long, available now. Follow the link in the description that will take you to gamblecomics.com. While there, you can get hats, shirts, posters, much more, but most importantly, the story itself. I'm going to call this Bret Hart versus Diesel.
Okay.
Like, it's just the best way to make it make sense. Bret was a superior wrestler.
Absolutely.
Diesel had more size. It's just, think of this as that match.
Okay. Yeah, that actually does help me picture it a lot better.
But here's the big difference between Lance and Test as opposed to Bret and Diesel. There is a specific spectator that comes out and eyes up this match as it plays out.
Is it the best first generation?
Well, only one member of the group, and that being Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner, because Booker had that grueling Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah.
And so
gotta sell the miniatures.
And so when Lance Storm I'm literally just ripping off Diesel and Bret. So
cool. Perfect.
Test tries to pick up Lance like Diesel tried to pick up Bret, and he collapses. And he's so arrogant that he goes again. He bends down to pick him up, and then we get a cradle. 1, 2, 3. Lance Storm rolls out of the ring, beating Test, and as he turns to go toward the ramp, he's eye to eye with Scott Steiner, and Scott says, "You are the best of this generation," and he raises his arm and says, "You need to be one of us." And so Lance acknowledges him, and they walk off together.
Okay. Culmination of a storyline. Well, I'm assuming months in the making. It's
because I
get a little fuzzy because it takes some time for us to record.
Well, not just that, but it's also I've been kind of off and on about it.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting until Kevin was gone to officially bring Lance in.
Fair.
But I also wanted to set the
mood.
Yes, exactly. And so Booker, Kevin, and Scott were having an eye on Lance while he was in the Regal Counter Threat.
Of course. Makes sense. All right, next up, we have, as soon as I finish scrolling, there we go, Rikishi versus Chris Jericho for that Evolve title. So, I don't remember if they did pre-shows back in the day. I don't think so.
There was heat.
There was heat. All right, sure.
Well, I'm just saying, in real life, that Sunday Heat was kind of the pre-show.
Yeah, that's pretty much as close as we get.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just retrofit it. We'll just do it between one of the matches tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Jericho is having a hard time figuring out what match type to pick. What's going to make it work. And then Sean says the most obvious thing in the world, so obvious that I'm surprised Chris didn't think of it as smart as he normally is.
Mm-hmm.
But Sean says, well, Chris, you're one of the greatest submission wrestlers in the world. Why not make it a submission match?
Ooh, I like that.
Especially since, Rikishi doesn't know any submission holds.
I'm really glad I didn't have Lance Storm win by submission.
Yeah, it really saved some time.
True.
But, bullet dodge, I love it when we have that synergistic pushing
by accident
between me and you without doing anything.
So good.
But, yes, so we have Rikishi, who has to now figure out how to win a submission match. Because I don't think that man's ever put on a submission hold his entire career.
Well, I can tell you exactly how that I would book this if it was me.
Let me hear it, because I got an idea, but if I like yours better, I'll steal it.
WrestleMania 13. Bret Hart versus Steve Austin. Steve Austin didn't care about submission holds. He cared about beating Bret into submission.
That'll work. So, that is what Rikishi tries to do. He tries to pretty much beat the dog-ish out of Chris. And then literally just turns to the ref and says, see if he wants to quit.
Exactly.
So just ask him. He might be done. If he's not, that's fine.
We'll keep going. Yeah.
We'll just keep going. But Chris, as he's getting his ass kicked, more and more and more, he's slowly fighting back, slowly regaining his confidence. Until Rikishi gets cocky, goes for a bonsai drop, misses. I don't know how you would roll to dodge a bonsai drop, per se. I'm assuming he just sits up. But whatever.
Well, to me, the easiest answer is, if not sit up, that's definitely an option, but, you just pick a direction. Like, if you roll toward the ropes, right?
Yeah.
Conceptually, either which rope, it doesn't matter. Just pick a rope, because the rear end is going to the mat. So either rope you go toward, and you can even pull yourself with the rope,
See, that might be what I'm doing.
Yeah, you can pull yourself by the bottom rope, because he's holding the top rope.
Because my thought is always, okay, so when you roll, you want to also avoid the legs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's always like that Ric Flair, like,
I
always explain, like, roll towards the corner.
Which works perfect for a moonsault or a splat.
Exactly.
But I think that with the sitting is the reason I struggle with that.
Yeah, so it's a tougher visual.
Yeah.
But I like that. Pulls himself towards the ropes, slides out, misses the bonsai drop. Chris goes to the top rope, drop kicks Rikishi, so he ends up in the middle of the ring.
Yep.
Lying on his stomach.
Yep.
There you go. It's the
Well, it's funny. I was already imagining a drop kick.
Yep.
Because Chris loved doing that triangle drop kick where he would bounce, kick.
Exactly.
And so, I love that we could envision the match.
just similar mindsets right there. But Lion Soul to the back. Rikishi rolls over. Chris fighting, trying to get him over for the walls. Rikishi fighting. So they're fighting real hard this way. So Chris just decides,
go the other way.
Right the other direction. Just use all of Rikishi's momentum.
Yep.
And get him into the walls of Jericho. Sits deep into it. Rikishi, he's fighting. Rikishi's always been a fighter, man.
Well, and he's got those strong thighs. It's
real strong thighs. It's literally his main characteristic.
Yep.
And he's powering through to the best of his ability, but Chris has done a great job. Whenever he did get a jab in, whenever he did get a shot in, always working the back, always working the legs and the upper thighs, trying to weaken him. So, Rikishi gets this far from the ropes. Chris lets go of his legs, hits another Lion Salt, puts the walls back on in the center of the ring, and Rikishi, he's got no choice. He's got to tap out.
Oh, cool.
Got to tap out. Chris Jericho is the Evolve Champion.
That's amazing. So, I like this match so much that I've decided that my next match is not ever getting to the ring.
Damn.
So, Stephanie is mad at JBL. She's mad at Billy Kidman. She tells him, "You're out of the arena. You're kicked out.
F out of here."
And as a matter of fact, Maven, you're out of here too.
Damn.
Get out of here, all of you. You're barred from ringside." And so Teddy says to Steph, "I don't know if you know this, but I don't think my guys are going to make it to the ring. She's like, what? What are you talking about? She's like, they're already fighting with
Nice.
Doug Basham, Danny Holiday, and Orlando Jordan. She's like, where are the cameras? She looks at the camera guy, the one who's shooting them right now. She's like, go find them. And so
Hunt him down. Hunt him down.
and so we see him moving through the hall, and so then we just have these 6 guys. Think of it like Big Show, Kane, and Raven at WrestleMania, where they were
Okay. Got
all
it.
over the
Yeah,
arena.
yeah.
Just nothing but chaos. Like, is this show gonna even make it on the air?
I'm about to say.
Type
Someone
thing.
trips over a power cord.
Exactly. And so the chaos concludes with Farouk hitting a Dominator on Orlando Jordan through one of the those production boxes. Obviously it's gimmick. Yeah.
Big time.
And then
Mark.
Mark.
Those things are made out of steel.
Exactly. So Mark splashes Danny Holiday through a table, and Rodney Mack hits his big drive-by kick on Doug Basham. It's not perfectly analogous, but it's outside the
I'm
ring.
about to say you could piece it together.
Yeah, you figured it out. You know, he's hanging through all those trusses and whatever.
I'm about to say, how about after Danny Holiday and Jordan get crushed, he turns around, and is like, no, I'm surrounded. Tries to run away. There's like a gate. He tries to get over the gate.
Yeah.
And he just drives by them.
Perfect. And so, Teddy and the MPAA don't care about pins. It never made it to the ring.
It was a brawl, man.
And so Teddy dances his way out the arena, and the MPAA follow him, and it's success.
I love to see that. I love that. Honestly, I don't think we've ever done that. Well, we didn't announce this match, so I guess it's fine.
Exactly. It wasn't announced for the pay-per-view, and it just, to me, if I was to put this in the ring, it's not going to live up to what Christian Rikishi did. It's not going to live up to what any of these, the contests, and I already know what's coming next, so I was like, you know what's better than trying to make this better than what was? Just make it totally different than what was and what is to come.
Sometimes different is good.
Yeah.
Well,
and the whole time, Teddy is holding Mark's television title.
Of course.
So
I kind of assumed.
That way that it's present but
still
not
prominent on the show, despite being a title that will never be defended on paper.
Exactly.
All right. So semi-main event of SummerSlam: Gail Kim versus Victoria for the Women's Championship.
Love it.
So,
and here's another thing.
Yes.
By not putting those guys in the ring, any fan who felt like getting a soda or a popcorn or a hot dog, beer, whatever,
the bathroom,
they feel comfortable. They're like, well, there's nothing happening in the ring. I feel comfortable going to do the thing.
Do what I need to do.
And it doesn't hurt the women in the semi-main.
Exactly. So before the match even starts, Eric Bischoff's music hits.
And I'm back.
Ain't better than ever. And Bischoff preemptively bans the Black Widow Alliance from the match. And because Tori's there with them, but you can't actually argue with this decision since that actually just makes it a one-on-one match. Yeah. It's just like, okay.
You're finally doing something good.
Like, all right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Bischoff has his own
ulterior motives.
So Gail at least gets a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But just the concept of it.
No, I'm with it. I think that's smart.
It's the option. So, luckily, I'm pretty confident this is one of those matches there are thousands of options you can pick.
Absolutely.
For video footage.
Yeah,
so,
whether it be Tara or Victoria, don't matter what her name is.
I'm about to say, pick your favorite. Whenever she goes in with Gail Kim, it's always a classic.
Yes.
So, instead of me recounting how great these two are in the ring, let's get to the gimmick-ish. So, ref takes a bump.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodline style, if you will.
I like that.
Victoria nails a widow's peak, covers her, gets the visual 1, 2, 3, but obviously there's no ref.
Mm-hmm.
No ref, no W, no belt. Hate to see it. So, obviously Victoria's like, I gotta go wake up this stupid ref. Or this Mike, who knows?
Sure.
But she goes to wake up the referee. As she's going to do that, Gail is crawling towards the corner, trying to recover, and someone jumps the barricade. As they jump the barricade, they are tackled by security, but before they get tackled, they're able to leave something on the apron.
Okay.
Gail sees it, picks it up. It's a pair of brass knuckles. She slides the brass knuckles on, hits Victoria with the brass knuckles.
And it was William Regal.
Drops her where it stands. Stop spoiling the story.
Oh, you're. I was just kidding.
Dead serious.
Oh, wowzers. Okay, never mind.
Yep.
That was totally my mistake.
Yep.
But I like it a lot.
I'm about to say. So, hits her with the power of the punch. Hides the brass knuckles in her tights or something. I don't know how she's going to sweeten that. But
I mean, I think the easiest solution is just slide him out of the ring, wouldn't it?
we'll do that one. Slides him out the ring. Pins Victoria, obviously, slow 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
As Gail, as the 3 count gets hit, security picks up the assailant and is revealed to be William Regal.
That's my bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I didn't tell you because I wanted it to be a surprise,
No,
but I
I
was
like
because I'll make it make sense on Raw, obviously.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm with it.
But yes, Regal has helped Gail Kim retain the women's championship.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm like, again, my bad for jumping the gun, but like I just thought I was being smart. Like,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so William Regal has helped Gail Kim retain her women's championship. So, there's only one thing left on the show. Oz, you know it. I know it.
the Heartbreak King, the showstopper, the main event, the every nickname on the sun, Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels.
Versus the Beast Incarnate, the
Next
youngest
big thing,
world
yeah,
champion
youngest world
ever,
champion.
the next big thing, the current big thing, the future big thing, the most dangerous man,
That's correct. Yep, Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, with Paul Heyman, obviously. Whew. Okay, there's a lot of talking.
I don't know if this match happened in real life. Do you?
Not that I remember.
I don't think it did.
I think because Brock was only there for a short time. Shawn was still working with Triple H.
Well,
most of the time.
by the time that Shawn became a full timer,
Yeah, came back.
Brock was full time on SmackDown.
Yep.
And I think that's what did it because Shawn was never a
showed up
SmackDown
on
guy. Yeah.
SmackDown guy. Yeah. So this is one of those dream matches that will forever remain a dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is kind of crazy to think about.
I think that's the true highlight of this venture is the idea that we get to do things that never came to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like pushing Jamie Noble or
Like pushing Jamie Noble.
treating Christian like he's
like he
the talent,
matters.
yeah.
like he's been good his whole career. No blue dot over his face.
Exactly.
Oh man. So I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of ways I could have gone with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you have ideas, you're more welcome to share them.
Specifically a match that comes to mind when I think of what Brock Lesnar versus Shawn Michaels could have been, and it's Shawn Michaels versus Dave Bautista.
Ooh.
So, especially that young, hungry monster Dave Bautista, because that's how I feel like Brock is that young, hungry monster. And so, when I think of what it could have been, that's instantly what comes to mind is Dave Bautista. And Shawn and Dave had multiple interactions, both in Dave's young career in Evolution, but also after Shawn retired Rick.
Yeah.
Now, I think of it more as the Evolution era Dave.
Of course.
Because he was rougher.
Not as
rugged.
not as crisp.
Yes, exactly. But, again, I think that there are other examples you could come to, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shawn has an extensive history with big guys.
When it comes to SummerSlam and Shawn Michaels, I instantly think of Vader.
Oh, yeah.
And Vader and Brock Lesnar just feel like the kind of guys that it's like, well, that's a New Japan match I'd love to have seen.
Yeah, that would be great.
if you got a time machine, it's like, let's make that happen.
Man, talk about a battle of former IWGP World Champions.
Exactly.
Or, sorry, just IWGP Heavyweight Champions.
Yes.
Because they didn't go around the world or whatever.
Yes.
But, yeah. Okay.
But those are like the two matches that really stand out to me as what would be analogous to Brock Lesnar would be Vader and Dave Bautista.
Yeah, that's probably the best comparison points I can think of, too. It's funny because Shawn's so good at kind of everything, you can really do whatever and it'll work.
Yes.
So I'm feeling a Dave Bautista-esque match. Obviously Shawn's whole game plan will be geared towards gotta hit that sweet chin music. Don't know how I'm gonna hit that sweet chin music, but gotta hit that sweet chin music. And Brock's whole game plan will be towards, This guy had an injured back.
I wonder what his target is.
I wonder what his weakness will be. And, you know, Brock has a lot of offense that's just back-centric. So,
yes.
makes it real easy. Ironically, his finisher is an F5. But, a lot of back-centric offense aside from that. So, obviously Brock still pissed off about being laid out a couple weeks back.
Mm-hmm.
Paul was able to keep him off Raw just long enough, cage the beast.
Yes.
So he could be fully unleashed. First thing he does in this match is clothesline Sean's head off. So Sean has his hair in a ponytail before this clothesline.
Yep.
After this clothesline, he no longer has his hair in a ponytail.
I like that.
I don't know how he would do it, but Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
He'll figure it out way.
Movie magic.
Movie magic, baby. Afterwards, he drags him out the ring, starts hitting him with German suplexes, power bombs. One point, he picks him up, World's Strongest Slam style, runs his back into the ring post. Because who needs a spine, right?
Not this guy.
Completely useless. So, of course, Sean selling the agony like only he can. Sean slowly tries to get up, and Brock runs full speed. Sean moves out the way, and, of course, Brock runs into the ring post.
Yep.
And that's when Sean nails him with some sweet chin music. But, of course, out of the ring, I mean, what good is it? What good does it do? So Sean sees that Brock's down, though, sees that announce table, sees Brock again, sees the announce table, and is like, screw it, it's SummerSlam. Pulls the stuff off, knocks off the monitors, gets Brock up on the table, gingerly gets up on top of the on the top rope, looks at the crowd, drinks it in, pictures snapping because this isn't 2020, so there's still like those cameras, still have that really cool image. And then Sean jumps from the top rope, goes for his signature elbow, but Brock moves.
Of course.
Brock moves. Sean goes right through the table. Brock picks him back up, hits him with a German suplex into the apron, rolls him into the ring, picks him up for the F5, pins Sean. 1, 2. Sean kicks out. Sean's a fighter. Sean's not going down that easy. Brock picks him back up for another F5. Sean wriggles out. Sweet chin music. Sean, exhausted, falls into the cover. 1, 2. Brock gets out. Crowd goes crazy. Crowd goes crazy. Sean drags himself up in the corner. Starts tuning up the band. The crowd wanted. The crowd are desperate for it. They want to see the king become the champ. Goes to the sweet chin music. Brock catches him. Brings him all the way up. F5. Dreams crushed.
You know what I thought
1, 2, 3.
when you were setting up for the Sweet Chin music?
What?
Kofi going for Trouble in Paradise.
Lord.
Well, what I mean is, because I knew he was going to catch it into the F5.
Tell you F5. Yeah. It's the immediate feeling.
Yeah, it felt right. But speaking of feeling right, that was a heck of a SummerSlam. My
What a
goodness.
SummerSlam.
We just had so much of a roller coaster ride.
That was a good ass show. Like, there was a lot of twists and turns, a lot of ups and downs.
Well, so much
unexpected
variety.
winners.
My goodness, so much variety.
Man, great show, sir.
Appreciate you.